Did you play MLB The Show 17, 18, or 19? If so, we're rewarding you in The Show 20. Choose the kid, Aaron Judge, or Bryce Harper to join your squad in MLB The Show 20.
PlayStation.
MLB The Show 20 comes out March 17th. That gives you plenty of time to start your road to the show before opening day. But there is a way to get MLB The Show 20 4 full days before everyone else does with early access. Pre-order the Digital Deluxe, MVP, or 15th anniversary edition of The Show 20 and you'll receive early access on March 13th. Just look for that early access icon. The special edition content includes a Diamond Legend Choice Pack, giving you an edge and extra time to build your best squad. Pre-order MLB The Show 20 now.
PlayStation.
Welcome everybody. That's my new intro. Welcome everybody to live stream number 6. We got a few more to go. Today we're going to be talking about March to October presentation updates and this cool little Instagram filter. We'll also have a legend reveal at the very end.
That's right.
And Luis Martinez is joining me, which means we've got something to reveal.
So let's talk about the Diamond Variety Pack first.
Okay.
Right? Where do you get it?
You get it if you buy the MVP Digital Deluxe or 15th anniversary edition of the game. And if you buy the Digital Deluxe version, you get 2 Diamond Variety Choice Packs.
That's right. So there's a bunch of legends in that pack. We've revealed 3 to this point.
David Ortiz.
Gary Sheffield.
And Mariano Rivera, right?
That's right. And we're about to reveal 3
One more.
3 more.
3 more.
Let's hit that video.
Roll the video. When you said 3, you didn't say the big 3.
But it was.
It was the big 3.
It was the big 3. So you got some starting pitchers in there. Greg Maddux, John Smoltz, Tom Glavine. They all do things a little bit differently. You got the command with Maddux. You got the flamethrower with Smoltz. Glavine mixes it up a little bit. And towards the end there, though, you saw one last card.
Yeah. When will we reveal that guy?
Saturday. So
Saturday.
Tune in on Saturday. We'll reveal that last
So what we know is there will be a total of 7 total choices in the Diamond Variety Choice Pack.
That's right.
The Atlanta Trio is in that pack. Decisions. Anything else you want to say about that pack?
I think that's it. So I'll be back later on in the stream to talk about that new legend reveal.
All right, thank you, Luis. Get off the couch. We'll be right back. MLB The Show 20 comes out March 17th. That gives you plenty of time to start your road to the show before opening day. But there is a way to get MLB The Show 20 4 full days before everyone else does with early access. Pre-order the Digital Deluxe, MVP, or 15th anniversary edition of The Show 20 and you'll receive early access on March 13th. Just look for that early access icon. The special edition content includes a Diamond Legend Choice Pack, giving you an edge and extra time to build your best squad. Pre-order MLB The Show 20 now.
PlayStation.
We are back with the M30 to talk about March to October. So, Ben, this is your first time on the couch.
It is.
Please introduce yourself and tell the people what you do here on the team.
What's going on? I'm Ben Gelman-Chomsky. I have 7 years as a minor league baseball broadcaster under my belt, and so I brought that to the team to help build out the commentary across the areas of the game. But also, with that minor league baseball experience, I've been asked to be a part of Road to the Show and March to October, helping to make sure that the game itself and the feeling with young players is as realistic as possible, and to breathe a little bit of life into that.
Awesome. And his left is Clayton Reed. This isn't your first time on the couch,
Not
Clayton.
my first rodeo.
Tell the people what you do on the
I
here on
have
the
been
team.
here over 15 years, and I am simply the Canadian game designer.
The Canadian game design. And sitting to my right, no stranger to the couch. You were just here a few weeks ago.
I was for Road to the Show.
John Livingston. So the people that don't know you, tell the people what you do here on the team.
I'm the senior narrative designer, and I work on a number of things, but this year Road to the Show and primarily March to October, which we're going to tell you about right now.
All right, let's get
We've got
into
some
it.
very exciting new features. What we're going to touch on, we're going to touch on more compelling variety of game situations at game entry. We're going to touch on a lot of new user agency options to make GM moves and really impact the season creatively as a GM. And we're going to talk about our new gated reward system and a couple other very cool things. Let's get right into it. First thing is that there are 2 new ways to play the game difficulty-wise. Why don't we bring up the first image, Colin? Okay, we got dynamic difficulty now available in March to October, as well as beginner difficulty. So this is great for beginners who aren't even ready for rookie. You start at beginner, and then if you're on dynamic, it just adjusts as you go. But dynamic is also good for experienced players. Let's go to the second screen. The second image, Colin. Okay. Oh, so here we have a screen you're going to see as soon as you enter Road to the Show, and it's going to ask if you're an experienced player, and if you are, you're going to set your starting difficulty for dynamic difficulty. So you do not have to start as a beginner
Anymore.
if you're an All-Star, Hall of Fame, or legend level player. You can set the setting to whatever you want to start at, and that's going to be important in March to October for reasons we'll get to later. So anyway, the thing is here, regardless of your level of play, if you play on dynamic difficulty, you're going to be assured the right amount of challenge at all times.
All right.
All right, moving on. So I mentioned it before, more compelling variety of, what am I talking about there? Basically, when we stop to send you into a game, what are we going to send you into? Let's go to image 3, and I'll give you an example. So last year, when you started a game, it was often the top of the 7th, nobody on base, nobody out in a close game. Okay, look at what we have here. You would have been a lot less likely to see a situation like this. You're behind 1 run, but you got the bases loaded, 2 outs. So we're dropping you right into a high leverage situation. Let's look at this, the next one. Okay, tie game, top of the 8th. You're on the hill, and the opponent Padres are threatening with 2 men on base and 1 out. Again, the moment you get into the game, you're in a high leverage situation. And the key here is, I mentioned leverage index. Let's bring it back to us, and I'll send it over to Ben. In case you don't know, let's just talk about what leverage index is. In case you don't know, Ben, you wanna help us
what
out?
is the leverage index?
So leverage index is a way of tracking how big any given moment in a game is. It's based on the number of outs remaining, the number of runners on base, the score. When you get into real MLB, there are actual historical factors and player factors involved. For us, the importance of that is we're always dropping you in moments that feel big, that feel intense. You're getting the absolute best experience possible in MTO, and you're coming in feeling like, okay, this is a moment that matters to my season, not just to this game, not just to this week, but to the entire year. And everything you do really does have that much more impact.
Right,
as a
and the
result.
leverage index is a brand new system at MLB The Show 20.
Yes.
It's not user-facing. You'll never actually see it,
Right.
but this is what's happening
Right.
behind the scenes.
And it basically guarantees that when we drop you into the game, the very first at-bat, whether you're pitching or hitting, has got a high likelihood of impacting the balance of the game, depending on how that play
And it truly
turns
makes
out.
these situations in March to October dynamic because we're in real time simulating these games, and the leverage index is running, looking for a minimum threshold to say, okay, this is the right situation to throw you into a scene, right?
Exactly. Now, a couple other little ways it affects the flow of the game. first of all, most of the time it'll be the trailing team that's at bat, and they'll have something going. And then also it's affected the point we start at the game is on an average it's a little bit later in the game. So what that does is it makes the mode flow a little bit better. You're going to get right into the action. You're going to make decisive plays from the beginning of the episode, and also there's even like maybe it's a 2-3 run deficit, but the trailing team's got the bases loaded, no outs. That's not a situation you ever would have encountered last year. So you'll still encounter an occasional top of the inning, nobody on, no out situation, but most times you're going to be dropped right into an exciting game situation. That's different than any you've seen that season.
Nice. And
so
also, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the leverage index also driving dynamic challenges and roll to the show as well?
That's right.
Yes,
we
that
might
is
have mentioned that. That's right. So yeah, that's a tool we're going to use more and more in a lot of creative ways in the future.
All right. So, what should we talk about?
Okay, we're going to move on to the next for the next section, which is the GM moves and user agency. I'm going to send it over to Clayton.
Clayton?
Yeah, it was important to us this year to expand your ability to shape the roster how you wanted it to be. If we go to image 6 column, call-ups are new this year, and let's take a minute just to appreciate his flow here.
Michael Kopech
I
is
know
contemplating
John-
life.
Clayton is styled in tribute to our image.
That's my guy right there.
This is a number 20 ranked MLB prospect right now for the White Sox, but he's actually only the 3rd ranked prospect on the Chicago White Sox.
That's correct.
Wow, it's John.
So
It's
look
John's
for-
boy
look
right
for-
there.
Well, wealth of knowledge here.
Look for my Sox to get it going.
So call-up episodes are dynamic. They will vary campaign to campaign. If you're the same team, odds are you'll have different guys getting called up at different times because they're based on your team needs. They're based on the performance of these players in AAA, and of course, they're based on the performance of the players at the major league level that they may be replacing.
So you're telling me if you're playing as the White Sox and you do this twice, you do 2 March to October runs, you could get different guys getting called up.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then you see right there on the right side of the screen, you can decide who you want to send down. First of all, you can decline to call the player up if you don't want to call him up. If you do call him up, you're going to go over there and decide what player goes down. So you're at the controls there as a GM.
Exactly.
And it's really great, especially to highlight some of the younger players who are going to be making an impact this year and beyond. We've seen in recent years how big a youth movement can be for any franchise.
Exactly.
Guys like Pete Alonso, Cody Bellinger coming up and making massive impacts right away.
And who are you excited for this year, Ben?
I've got a lot of players. Bobby Dahlbeck for the Red Sox is a guy who hits 500-foot bombs. It is going to be really exciting to see him take on the Green Monster pretty soon.
Nice.
All right. So moving on from there, we can get into trade opportunities, and if we go over to the dev kit, some control over the trades being offered to you here. We wanted to improve that, and
You remember last year we did have trades, but it was only one
You got
trade
one trade
opportunity.
episode,
Yes.
right?
It came toward the end of, right before the trade deadline. If you declined it, you might get another one, but you could only ever make one trade, and it was always right before the trade deadline.
And it was always for a hitter.
And it was always for a position player, that's right. So a lot of new things. The trades are going to happen all through the year. You can make multiple trades. You can make up 3, 4, even possibly more trades. And the opportunities are going to be happening all through the year.
now last year you could not, even with call-ups and trades as well, you could not acquire a pitcher, and you couldn't call up a pitcher. And this year you can. You see here we have Syndergaard, who's one of the opportunities. We did some work as well in the packages that are being sent out in these trade opportunities. You see here, fairly decent package for Syndergaard. Nick Solak is one of the young, bright future players for the Rangers here. Lance Lynn going the other way. If you scroll down, you see D. Gordon. The package being offered for D. Gordon is different than from Syndergaard, and the same with Sheldon. Who?
Sheldon Noisy.
Sheldon Noyes.
I would have
Wow.
butchered his last name. I would have total butchered that.
When we put more than 1,500 minor league names in, somebody has to do the research. I'm just sitting next to him right now.
Nice.
So the other thing you can do here, from the call-up screen and also from the trade opportunity screen, if you hit square, you can access the lineups. So
So you can see if that player
See if that, how they
fits.
got slots in.
exactly, you can all see the rotation. So give you better, quick insight instead of having to try and remember who are my starters, who are my relievers, who's playing what position.
You can add. Seems like Noah has a spot on your rotation.
Well, I mean, it's my Rangers, so I think we can slot him in here. Although Exactly.
Again,
anybody
yeah.
with a nice flow is coming to the Rangers for sure. I'm gonna have to trade for Kopech at some point. So one other thing new this year with trade opportunities and with call-up opportunities, which we didn't have last year, is you can have pitcher player lock episodes. So if we confirm this trade for Syndergaard here, and we'll move along, we're gonna sim to Syndergaard in a starting pitcher player lock episode.
Very next game.
Very interesting. So reminding people, these player lock episodes were in the game last year from March to October. What do these allow you to do if you perform well in these player lock
right.
episodes?
So just like last year, when you get a player lock opportunity, how you play in that game is going to give you an opportunity to earn a boost for that player for the rest of the season based on your performance.
And the addition this year is you have them for pitchers.
Exactly. Anytime you acquire a starting pitcher, either by trade or by call-up, you're going to have an immediate player lock episode as that pitcher.
Yeah, relievers, we don't give you a player lock episode right away because we can't guarantee when you're coming in the game as a reliever. Starting pitchers is a different story. So one thing that was touched on during the Amazing League stream was the new trade management hub, and they mentioned it, but they did not reveal it. So
Very kind of them.
We will bring it up right here. They waited for us. It was nice to them.
Because we built it.
Nice humble brag over here by John.
Okay, so we wanted to give you guys more control over the trades being offered to you. So to do that, we came up with the Trade Management Hub. So here it is. Here's my Texas Rangers Trade Management Hub. Now on the right, you see the list of the different sections. You know, the first section is positional needs. You can choose up to 3 positional needs. Now the Rangers, you know, they actually have some starters this year. So let's choose relief pitcher, possibly first baseman, second baseman. We'll get into that later.
Right field looking pretty thin, man.
Yeah, but you know, we're okay. We're okay for now, just as an example. So this, if you're, like you said, my right field is ranked 29th. If I want to improve my right field, I'll mark this as one of the positional needs, and this will influence the trades that are being offered to me. It won't guarantee it, but it'll go a long way towards influence the trades that are proposed to you. Moving on from positional needs, we have team needs. Maybe you want a lefty reliever, lefty specialist, left-handed batter. Maybe you just want to start a rebuild within March, October, and then take your March, October campaign, your team into franchise. You can target prospects here. So you have these options as far as team needs.
Which might be considered an unorthodox way to play March to October. But remember that at the end of March to October, you can roll it into franchise. So if you're a franchise player, you might say, okay, I'm going to do a rebuild. I'm going to play my first season in March, October. I'm going to try to trade for the prospects I want. And then at the end of the season, I'm going to roll it into franchise and continue in franchise.
After team needs, we get into players to target. Now, I've already listed a couple here, and one player that was listed there before was Noah Syndergaard, and I just traded for him, so he's been removed from players to target. But what that did was it influenced my ability to have Noah Syndergaard pop up as a trade opportunity target. So here I have Chris Bryant, Nolan Arenado, because naturally someday they'll both end up on the Rangers. Maybe one off the first. It was rumored that Arenado would be going to the Rangers, so I'm going to live the dream here. Bryant as well. We'll see what happens. Now, again, the higher overall guy is, the better a guy is.
It's going to be harder to acquire.
Yeah.
Yeah, the odds are slim. It's not impossible, though. If you want Trout, go for it. There's no guarantee, but you're also adding Trout at the expense of someone else that you could acquire. And Charlie Morton, I put Morton on here because he's going to be a free agent after this season. So, obviously, if a guy is towards the end of his contract, that plays a role as well. Players to shop. You know, maybe my patience is running thin with my boy Rugi, you know, and it's been a couple years. I'm going to root for him, but maybe I'm going to shop him and see what there is out there. So this will influence him being a part of the packages going the other way. And we did some work this year on the trade packages to make better trade packages for players we acquired. So it should be a bit more balanced, the trades. There's still potential some stuff we'd like to improve, but it's come a long way.
Untouchables.
Untouchables. Now, the other thing here, so say, Joey Gallo.
Untouchable.
How could
and
you?
I just acquired Noah Syndergaard. I don't want to lose these guys, but I also don't want to waste my time having these guys being parts
queued up
of
for
packages for trades. So if there's 4 guys, up to 4 guys that you want to keep, and you don't want them to be a part of any trade, basically wasting a trade opportunity for you, you can add them on here, and that will affect, again, they won't appear in the packages.
And again, last year you got to make one trade and it was only for a hitter. This year, with all this flexibility of calling up players and trading for guys that you actually want to target, it lets you build your story in a way that you couldn't last year. I'm a Red Sox fan. If I want to right a wrong and bring Mookie Betts back to Boston, I can do that. If I want to play as the Blue Jays and make a team of nobody but kids of former players, I can do that.
They already got that going.
Right,
They've already
exactly.
started down that path.
Yeah, if I want to get Acuna and Bellinger and say, let's continue this role, I can do that. It's really fun to not just play to win, but play with that story in mind and have a little more feel for the course of a season.
All right.
Again, from anywhere on the screen, you can hit square and access your lineups and your rotation. So you have quick and easy access to that as well.
All right. So let's talk about rewards. Last year, March to
Yeah.
October,
Yeah.
you had to win
Yeah.
the World Series.
That's right. Last year, if you remember, if you made it all the way to the World Series and you lost, you got nothing.
Goose eggs.
You got a goose egg on Team Affinity. If you won the World Series, you would get 100% of the Team Affinity, and if you didn't win the World Series, you would get 0.
And that was hard if you
It
were
made for an
positive.
exciting experience, but it also made for some
Some controller breaking if you were the Baltimore Orioles and you got them there.
Yeah. So World Series is still going to be very exciting because the biggest amount of Team Affinity that you can get is for the World Series. But we have a gated reward system where there are 5 gates, and the first one is mid-season. Let's look at the first image. So you start your March or October, you play the first half of the season, and actually a little more than the first. You play to the All-Star break. And at the All-Star break, we evaluate your performance for the first half of the season. So let's take a look at this screen. So we have the Rays. I'm sorry, let's go, but yeah. So somebody's playing the Rays on Hall of Fame, and at the beginning of the season, they were expected to win 52 games.
By the All-Star
By
break.
the All-Star break. And in this case, the player has won 47 games. So the win differential, -5, means the player has won fewer games than expected. But since they're playing on a Hall of Fame, which is very challenging, impossible if you're me, the player still won a healthy amount of Team Affinity, 8 Team Affinity points, which are, if you're online, they're immediately added into your Team Affinity page in Diamond Dynasty. And regardless of what happens the rest of the season, you have earned those 8 points.
And for the people just not joining us who didn't play the game last year and didn't know about March to October, what Team Affinity is, all 30 teams basically have a Team Affinity reward path, which we will reveal some of those on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm going to stay
But
quiet.
what you basically do is, as you're getting Team Affinity points, you're constantly upgrading and unlocking things down your team's Team Affinity. And we'll talk about what's in that on Saturday.
Yeah, and a lot of that is exclusive to the Team Affinity path. You can't get it any other way, and that's a really cool thing, especially if you want to just blow it out with your favorite team.
Difficulty again?
Yeah,
Yes.
Let's look at Clayton's.
let's go to the
Texas
next.
Rangers.
Yeah, we'll go to the next. Okay, here we go. So this is the end of the end of the
The
regular
gods!
Looks like Clayton was playing.
This
Okay.
is a little foreshadowing for this season.
Okay.
I mean, the rotation's looking nice.
Got a new stadium?
They still have the bats.
So there are a
brand new
couple things to
stadium.
point out on the screen. First of all, I can see looking in the upper left corner that Clayton was playing on dynamic. The
Yep.
reason is because you see it says average difficulty was veteran, current difficulty is amateur.
All-Star.
All-star, I'm sorry. So
You were right. He is an
Yeah.
amateur.
Don't
He is an
shortchange the
amateur.
man.
No, because I said amateur because he obviously probably
118
he
wins.
must have started on beginner, which is how he's 15 games
Yep.
ahead of
The
expectations.
only reason he
Okay,
Okay.
well, let me time out right there. So, the second half gate is based on your performance from the first gate to the end of the season. So, from the All-Star break to the end of the season. So, this plus 15
that's
is
right.
only the second half of the season. Thank you very much.
That's right. That's a good thing to point out. The win differential plus 15 is based on the second half performance, which is what the rewards are for.
And what's really cool about that is, let's say that you don't have a great first half, you're not really in line to make the playoffs or even make any noise down the stretch. If you have a great second half, you still get some nice rewards out of it. It's not like you give up at mid-season and you get nothing. You can really pay off with Team Affinity rewards if you have a good second half.
And
Exactly.
again, remember
If you get 5 stars like I did.
your dynamic difficulty reward gate is based off of the average difficulty during that
That's right.
period,
So in this case he earned 7 Team Affinity, and that was based on veteran difficulty, which is the average difficulty he's played out so far this season.
So, yeah, so to begin this campaign, I started at a beginner, and then by the end of the regular season, my average difficulty for my pitching and hitting was All-Star, and which I mean, my current, I should say, was All-Star, which
Right.
led to an average of veteran.
Another thing to point out here, you notice on the first screen that there was 8 affinity earned when the player didn't do as well. 7 affinity earned when he's way above. That's because it's a veteran difficulty, and the other one was Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame,
right? So you're going to get more team affinity. It's an equation that's based on how difficult of a mode you're playing at and how your performance is compared to expectations.
And this year, it's repeatable.
Oh, that's right. Very, very, very important. Every gate is repeatable. So you can play as your favorite team. You can go to the World Series or lose at any point. You can start over and play the whole season again. Every gate is rewarded again. You can win the World Series, and you can go back and win the World Series again. Every single gate you hit, you'll be rewarded for the time invested. And
yeah, and you don't have to switch your difficulty level. You can play on the exact same team, exact same difficulty level, and it's all repeatable. You can earn team affinity all the time.
As you're
Exactly.
constantly going
Exactly.
down that team affinity, basically program path, trying to unlock all of these specific rewards to that team that you can't get anywhere else in the game. So,
Those titles.
and who?
Grind those titles.
Grind those titles.
Grind
Yeah,
those
yeah.
titles.
one thing you might have seen there we didn't mention, front office on the bottom right, front office grade. That's just a little fun we had with the fact that you're making moves. It's based on the moves you've made and whether the moves you've made have improved your team overall. So it looks
Exactly.
like
Trades, call-ups, natural team progression, natural team regression it's basically what culminates into your front office grade there.
so. If Clayton got an A+, so no wonder he's 118 wins. He must have traded.
I
for
mean,
like
I'm not going to say who I traded for, but
All right,
Made
let's
some-
take a look
made some
at the
good moves.
Division Series reward gate. Remember, there are
Yeah.
5 reward gates. We
Yeah.
saw the first 2.
So the first 2 gates, mid-season and end of season, you're going to get team affinity based on your performance, regardless of how well you do. When you get to the postseason, that's where the affinity earned is a set amount, and you only get it if you win that series. So in this case, somebody playing with is it the Yankees? Yeah.
Yep, the Yankees.
On
The
veteran,
Yankees.
won the division series, 3 team affinity for winning, and also the opportunity to go and play in the championship series, which is worth twice as much as a division series.
Speaking about championship series, let's see that reward gate.
let me chime in here just 1 second. So during the gates 1 and 2, like the All-Star break gate and the end of the regular season gate, the stats on the right were just your own team and just a little how you're faring against your ranks throughout the league. Now when you get the postseason, it gives you a little preview, batting, pitching, fielding for your opponent in the upcoming series.
So here we've got the this is for the winning of the championship series. It was played on All-Star. It was won, and it was team affinity 8 team affinity earned for winning the championship series on All-Star. Anything else, Clayton? Or we'll move on to that. And finally,
Ooh, off to
World
the
Series.
champions.
Making dreams come true.
that's the
People in
ultimate
office.
dream of the Dodgers finally winning the World Series.
On legend.
On Legend, and you win on Legend, and that's 18
18.
team affinity
And I know,
just for winning the World Series
I
on Legend.
know you guys want to see what's in the team affinity. Kyle Blake, Stephen Haas, and Luis Martinez. We will talk all about it on Saturday. Those team affinity programs. I'm just going to leave it at that. You're going to want to tune in on Saturday.
Yeah, so again, just to clarify, when you see 18 team affinity, that's what you earned for winning the World Series. You also had earned the mid-season gate, the end-of-season gate, the division series, championship series. So you win the World Championship on Legend, you're looking at probably 50, 60 team affinity points.
Easy, yeah.
Yeah. And then again, you go do the whole thing again if you want to. Win those again.
And the last image.
Last image is, again, we're back to the home screen of a dynamic difficulty, and I just want to emphasize again that the amount of affinity that was won on any gate in dynamic is based on the average difficulty that was played until that point. I will also mention that postseason games are weighted, because they actually tend to take a little longer, so they're actually weighted double towards the consideration of what your average difficulty is. So it's
Exactly.
possible you get to the postseason
Gotta be
on
peaking.
on
Gotta be
you
peaking.
know, on your All-Star and your All-Star, you're hoping the gate, and all of a sudden, right before you get to the gate, it bumps up to the next level.
Yeah, so what are you saying? If you're on average at the mid-season, you'll get the reward based on the average. If you're on All-Star by the end of the season, you'll get the reward based on the
Right.
All-Star. So it's whatever your average is when you hit those gates.
Nice. So to recap March to October for this year, seems like you really tried to tack all of the things that people
Exactly.
kind of didn't really.
We really
like
just
a whole
read.
lot.
We just read the threads, and we just tried to give. What
Right.
was
So we
being
got
asked for.
dynamic difficulty in beginning when you start. Now, all of the situations that queue up in March to October are based off of the new leverage index system as well. We have the new trade hub.
Yeah.
And if you trade for a pitcher, you will be thrown into a player-like episode for that
And you
pitcher.
couldn't trade for pitchers.
couldn't do that last
and
year.
you couldn't call up anybody last year.
And when you the new call-up
Prospects.
episodes, you're actually now calling up real minor league prospects.
right.
And if you call them up, you will be thrown into a player-like episode with one of those guys.
Same
too,
rules.
right?
It'll be if it's a hitter, you get a player lock. If it's a starting pitcher, you get a player lock. Again, for relievers, it's not in that, but you have the ability to jump right into the fire with these guys and see what you have in them.
Right. And last but not least,
The gated rewards.
the gated rewards.
Yeah,
no longer
rewards.
win
It's just
or go home. You have 5
The
gigs.
bottom line is that the amount of time you invested playing March to October is going to be rewarded in Team Affinity, the amount that you deserve to be rewarded.
All right. Well, thank you.
I'm going to
Got
do
one
a
more
quick
thing?
little shout out
Yes.
here. Shout out to Daniel. We like to call him Snowflake, but he
Daniel Snowflake.
he refuses to come on these streams. Nick for all his testing help. Christina and Adam for their UI and art help. Leo, Beamon, Acevedo, and everybody else that helped.
Leo
out.
the God.
Thank you guys
Yes.
very much.
Thank you guys very much. This is the M2O team. We'll be right back to talk about presentations. Be right back. MLB The Show 20 comes out March 17th. That gives you plenty of time to start your road to the show before opening day. But there is a way to get MLB The Show 20 4 full days before everyone else does with early access. Pre-order the Digital Deluxe, MVP, or 15th anniversary edition of the show 20 and you'll receive early access on March 13th. Just look for that early access icon. The special edition content includes a Diamond Legend choice pack, giving you an edge and extra time to build your best squad. Pre-order MLB The Show 20 now.
PlayStation.
And we are back with the presentation team, or 2 parts of the presentation team. A man who is no stranger to the couch and no stranger to leaking legends, Kirby St. John. So what legend you leaking today, Kirby?
They didn't tell me who the legend was today because they're worried. So yeah,
And we have a new face.
we do have a new face.
Who's this guy, Kirby?
This is Drew Irvin. Everybody say hi to Drew. Drew is a new dev this year. He's been working on a presentation. He comes to us directly from ESPN, where he spent 12 years. Many of those years as a live events producer, doing college baseball, college football, college basketball, among other things. So tell us a little bit what you've been doing here.
Yeah, just pumped to be here, trying to take what I did in TV and bring it into this awesome game that I've liked playing for a long, long time now. So just joined the presentation team this year to help with kind of everything that is broadcast related and everything that we see every day here, you know.
Nice. So let's jump right into it. What's the first thing you want to show, Kirby?
First thing we want to talk about today is what we're calling opt-in presentations. This is mostly going to impact online games, fast play games. It will have an impact in other game modes as well, and hybrid and broadcast, that kind of stuff. But essentially what this is, opt-in presentations are us giving you a prompt to either decide whether or not you want to see some type of a presentation.
Home runs.
Exactly. So in online gameplay or fast play, when you hit a home run in the past, it was just, okay, right to the next batter, keep moving, that's it. You could have hit a 500-foot bomb with an amazing bat flip, saw nothing, right? So now what you're going to be seeing is a scene after you hit the home run where you're going to get a prompt to then opt in to the presentation. And not only do you get to enjoy your own home run, but you also get to flex on your opponent a little bit.
So you
as
can
well.
force people to watch your home run replays. That's what you're saying.
That's right. You hit a bomb off them, you get to make them watch the home
And
run.
it works
you just
vice
took.
versa.
And it goes the other way. So yeah, you get a little. It's gonna have a little extra reason to.
So do we have a video to look at,
Yes,
Kirby?
let's get a video. So this will give you an example of the flow. Main thing we want to emphasize: this really isn't slowing down the experience a whole lot, and you're getting some of the exciting moments of your game. So Rizzo,
No doubt.
no doubter here, wraps one around the foul pole. Then
Every
right
home
in-
run will have this little scene here too, where you get an opportunity. You see
can
the
see that
prompt
L2
on the
prompt. Sorry.
on the score bug there. You just hit L2.
And then right into nice replay with a little bat flip, wave it fair, boom. And then the other thing we did with the replays, and Drew did a great job working on a lot of these, was keeping them quick, keeping them short, and adding a lot of like realism into the camera angles and the types of things that you would see in a real replay in a broadcast. So now another video we're going to show you real quick, just to give you an example. is
Next one,
the same
Colin.
Video. Next video. We can see this again, though. This is lovely.
This is we're trolling. The troll button. L2's not going to be the home run troll button.
We just wanted to prove.
Right, yeah, L2, jamming L2.
We just wanted to prove that you can skip through. You don't have to watch if you're trying to jam through as many games as possible, and you don't care about all the lovely work we've done. You don't have to hit L2. You see the prompt there, but you just hit X here, or just let it play, and the next batter comes
And
to
Javi
bat.
pimped that one.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's the one you're not going to want to skip. You're going to want to see that. You're going to want to see that replay there and that bat flip. But something kind of cool that you're going to get to be experiencing in online gameplay. And with opt-ins, it's really our first kind of opportunity to give you choices about the types of things you want to see. So if you're not playing in fast play, you're still going to be you're given a prompt for things like starting lineup, defensive alignment, that type of stuff. So
And that happens at the beginning of the game, and you'll see it in the new scoreboard.
exactly,
Right?
you'll see it come off off the score bug. There'll be an L2 prompt there, and if you choose to see it, then it rolls right into that presentation. So it's kind of our first steps into providing some providing some options as to what you want to see and what you want to hear. So exciting about that, and it's definitely something that we're excited to hear feedback on too, like the types of things that we want to maybe expand this system into, and where it could go. There's lots of possibilities.
Something else that we have that people have seen, but we haven't really talked a whole lot about, is a brand new show theme.
That's right.
Yeah, basically we kind of decided, we did some market research, watched a bunch of games, and we decided we really wanted to brand our own theme. So we went away from having two different themes that were pretty similar, but a little bit different. We created one theme. We're going to put it down in the bottom right so we can pop up a bunch of information relevant to your team, your
And you're
players,
seeing
your
it.
opponent. You can see it right above us.
Yeah.
We created a system kind of to pop up situational stuff that happen. You see the 205 with runners in scoring position. So when there is a runner on second base, and when it's a big run, when it's tied in the 8th inning, you'll see, Bogarts, man, he actually struggles in this type of situation.
And these things aren't baked in. All of these slide outs, they're all dynamic based off of the situations.
Correct, exactly. And then we created another system where it basically lists all the stats of this person, and it'll pop up the most, I guess, interesting stat.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're batting .538 in your last 10 games with your road to the show player, it's smart enough to know that, hey, that's a really cool stat. Let's pop that up.
Yeah,
there.
and you also get really cool stats when you're playing in your season modes and you make a trade or you drafted somebody, which you'll see they'll talk about where they was drafted or if they were traded, things like that. Right, Kirby?
Everything's really situational. There's a lot of really cool notifications. So what we have is we have situational stat pops that are going to be coming up. Like you'll see, here where 1 for 11 with runners for scoring position, 15 left on base. That kind of end of the game. It kind of helps tell the story of that game a little bit. Reminds you of how the Brewers did in that game. But you're also going to be getting a lot of things throughout a season that are going to be telling you about, exactly. Hey, this guy was acquired from this team. So if you're playing and you didn't quite catch that, maybe a different team and so and so is on a team now, and you're like, what happened? And you got acquired via trade, that type of thing. Also notifications like this, like no hitter through 7 innings for Blake Snell. So all this stuff's very dynamic, and one really cool thing that Daniel Acevedo, one of our programmers, worked on is what we're calling a notable system, and that basically digs through all kinds of stats. And right here's a bunch of pops coming directly from the notable system that are going to tell us, just cool information about the players, whether it be statistical and what they've been doing trend-wise recently, or just kind of bio-type stuff, like Justin Smoke, 10-year career with these teams. So. These are things that are not getting in the way of the gameplay at all. You're playing the game, and these are coming off the bug as.
And the bug always animates bottom
top,
up.
Right? So
bottom
everything. Up? So try to use my hand here. Oh, I can't do it. Right above where the pitcher is that's actually a pop up, right? So the score bug itself is the teams and the score and everything else, right? And then the pitcher and batter information, but. When we show a pop, it slides up, and then you see the information right above it. So that's going to be happening throughout the game. Again, lower right, so that's not going to be sliding across the screen, getting in the way of pitch meters or any of that type of stuff.
Always bottom right.
Bottom right.
Screen.
And this is on the show theme. Now we still have MLB Network. That's still branded as as our other theme. That's top left, just like they do in real life on MLB Network. So this really sets the show theme apart, and really kind of gives us that kind of brand defining. Theme that's cohesive with, also like it's cohesive with the front end, the menus and everything, all has like a real cohesive look to it.
The other thing just to mention to you, similar to the opt-in, the point of this was just to enhance the fast play experience as well. So like this isn't slowing you down at all. You're not waiting for this to go. You can look at it. You can not look at it.
Right.
Smarter presentation.
Smarter. Exactly.
Yeah. We're giving you information without, slowing the game down at all. You just saw a couple more that just popped up, but yeah, we got standings coming off the bug, and batter walk-ups and all that kind of stuff. So really clean look. It's a central hub of information, basically, is the way we're looking at the score bar.
Nice. Transitions.
Let's talk about transitions. You want to tell us about that? So I will just say this real quick. The first thing, Drew walks in the door this year, first thing, and he's like, guys, we got to fix the transitions. We got to fix the replay wipes, that kind of stuff. They were too long, and he really led the charge on this, so I'll let him talk to it.
Just like one of those things that gets overlooked, but when you see a replay with super long transition on the front end and the back end and a slow dissolve in the middle, the game really drags out. So my thought process was just like, let's speed everything up, get right to the replay, make a quicker transition. Let's show people what they want to see and let them get back to the game as quickly as possible. Go ahead.
This is a new replay here, and you also get to see how quickly the transitions are going to work. So, stolen base. Right into the
Replay starts immediately.
transition, right into the replay. This is a new replay, brand new cameras. I'm going to get a really cool second look right here. Let's slide to the outside there, avoid the tag.
And right back to gameplay.
And then right back into the gameplay. So here's another one here.
This is another opt-in. If you look at the score bug in the bottom right, you'll see a prompt come up. If you want to see what the defense looks like today, here's the defense for the Padres. You can X through this whenever you're done reading about who's playing where. Yep. And so this is just another opportunity where, like, if you don't care about the defense, then just press X.
And what we saw at the front of that, as soon as you did opt in, was the team transition. So we have the show transitions for the replays, but then when we're doing, go ahead and get into this, but that was a team transition for the Padres.
Just another thing that we focused on was more replays in moments that actually matter. Like a lot of times there would be a close play at the plate, and you're like, whoa, I don't know, did he get in there? Did he not? So now we set up just smarter replays. So when there is a big play, hopefully you'll see a replay more often.
And they're quick. You got right in, got right back out, right back to game.
Yeah, that's really emphasis. Is like showing you the exciting stuff that's going on, but getting in and out.
Lastly, we have some awesome animations, so we just wanted to focus more on these bat flips. So here's another opt-in opportunity. You're like, I want to see that. That thing was crushed.
Yeah, Lauren recorded all these bat flips, and we got bat slams in the game this year.
Exactly. So like, if you do this playing against an opponent, you want to show them up a little bit, hit L2, and we also tried to add just some StatCast information so that if you are interested in how far that one went, most of that information's in the replay as well.
Yeah, so it's faster, speed, fluidity, consistency with the theme, new types of presentations, faster presentations, getting you into the game, into the exciting moments,
and
right back to gameplay.
And bat flips. Bat flips.
All about the bat flips.
We did not do. Admittedly, we did not do a great job showing bat flips in the past, and that's been rectified. So we're very excited.
That's been fixed. So let's talk about the strike zone art.
Yeah, sure. So kind of in attempting to kind of modernize our look and really get up to the quality of what you're seeing in modern day broadcasts. The strike zone art has been redone. Now, our UI artists, they don't get to do a stream. They don't get to talk to you about all the things that they get to work on art-wise. This was a big initiative for them that they were able to put together brand new strike zone art. So you can see, here's what you're seeing cycling through here, the ball marker, right? So it used to be blue and red and have letters on it and all kinds of stuff going on. Hollow circle, ball. Solid circle, strike. That actually animates. You're not seeing it animate right here, but when you see it, it actually kind of fills up and it looks really nice. So kind of a cleaner look to it all. Also, here's the pitch select or guest pitch, excuse me, and you can see the pitch history there. You can see what was called a ball, what was called a strike, that kind of stuff. If we get to keep going there, yeah. So right here you can see. Right next to the pitch marker, you're seeing the pitch type and the velocity. Now that used to be up on the score bug. It's still there. You can still see that in the bottom right. But right there in the center of the screen, you're going to be seeing the information about what that pitch was and the velocity and all that kind of stuff as well. So just a real clean look and definitely modernizes the look of our strike zone art and the broadcast aesthetics that we're working with.
Shout out to everybody on both art teams, especially our team, Aaron, all of the guys, Giordano on the new scorebook. Yeah. Everybody did a wonderful job.
They don't get enough mention on these streams, and then they're making things look pretty over there. So,
but we're not done.
No,
we got a surprise. The first surprise is, you're playing in moments You're playing in the 60s and 70s.
Yep.
You know, you're looking at a score bug that's from present day.
Doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. No. Take it away, Kirby.
Yeah. So, I mean, last year, obviously, Moments was added to the game. It was a big thing. You guys were playing like crazy. We all did. Really fun to play Moments with, let's say Willie Mays or Babe Ruth or whatever. But it definitely had a weird feel to it when you're playing with the show theme or MLB Network or whatever. So what you're experiencing now are 3 separate Moments themes, era specific. So you're going to have 1969 and before, and the 1970s and 80s, and the 1990s. You want to tell us a little bit more about those, Drew?
Yeah, we kind of just combed through the internet a bit and pulled some clips and tried to match up our art with those eras. So if you want to call those up, we can kind of...
A lot of fun research to do this.
Yeah. Not much going on back in the day. They didn't have quite the amount of tools that we have, but we tried to match that. So this will be on batter walk-ups and everything. And just want to mention, it's also the score bug, but also the pitch select and all the everything you see that's an OSD on the screen during these games will match that.
And
that
this
era.
is the 1960s era theme.
Well, this is
anything below 1970
69
will look like this.
So black and white days.
So
yeah.
what about 1975?
Let's see. Here's what would happen. Kind of match up with what it would feel like. Kind of has that old video game feel, and kind of again just puts you in that moment. And like the first one, everything you see on the screen will kind of match this era.
We were doing a dinner I think it was a moment. I think it was actually or something like that, and it had this theme, and it just felt right. Like it just felt really cool. I was like, all right, this is.
What if I'm playing in the 90s?
If you're playing in the 90s,
yes.
Let's go.
You're gonna feel like maybe you were watching one of those Atlanta Braves games.
One of those big three that we were talking about earlier.
Exactly.
And pitching with this, right? Yeah, exactly.
So just trying to put you guys in that moment as much as possible, and it was fun to do these, and hopefully people like them.
So those are the Moments themes. We're excited about those. A couple other things I just wanted to mention real quick. I'm going to run through a little laundry list of things. Tons of initiatives game-wide this year, new modes, right? We got and new features in existing modes. So we on the presentation and commentary side have to do a lot to basically support those, right? Support those with new commentary, new presentations, and everything. So I'll run through a few things really fast of what we did in custom franchise teams. So when you're when you're relocating a team or rebranding a team, whatever, we're going to have specific commentary tailored to what decisions you've made and the firsts that are happening in your career, with the team. So you move a team to Montreal, let's say, and talk about the firsts that are going on. So we have a video here for opening day. This is the Padres, and we'll roll this. This is what you experience if you were to change the uniforms and logos, as the Padres did.
See the new look for this team all over town as fans have been streaming to the team store to pick up some fresh gear. And it's not just the fans who are excited about the new look. Several players proudly sent out photos of their new unis on
Oh, I didn't know you could hear us. I thought y'all could only hear Heidi talk. The Padres Browns are back. But I can't hear her. I don't know what she's saying.
Yeah, well, she was basically saying what she was saying, because I know, because we worked on this content a lot. What she's saying there is basically like, fans are excited about the new look, the uniform, the city's excited about what's going on. So you're going to be getting a lot of that kind of stuff, whether you relocate, rebrand, or just change up the logos and uniforms. So exciting stuff going on there in franchise when you are working with a custom team. In custom leagues now, which was streamed last week, right?
That was last week, yeah. That was Matthew Schaefer's stream.
Exactly. So in custom leagues, there's a lot of unique features and settings that you can do. So the commentary is going to be speaking a lot to those types of things. If you're playing with 3-inning games, a little bit more discussion about the strategies and that kind of thing going on in custom leagues, and also the playoff structure there. So commentary, supporting those areas in custom leagues. In Road to the Show, we've refreshed the Topps Player Spotlight and the Bowman Prospect Spotlight, so kind of helping to tell the stories of what's going on with your player, as we lead you into the game. So Heidi's been incorporated into some of those in the major league space, but lots of cool commentary to help kind of tell the story of your career in Road to the Show, as well as commentary on the relationships that are happening in your career and how that's affecting your team. And kind of just what your players like in the clubhouse, and why that matters in Road to the Show.
We didn't forget about the minor leagues, right?
Didn't do the minor leagues. Our guy Ben, who you saw earlier, tracked down basically pronunciations on close to 1,600 new players. So as you can imagine, that was quite the task. And then, but we got the minor leagues covered. We're good there with commentary, and you'll hear it just like they're pronounced. Ben did his due
They
diligence
will
there.
be correct.
That was a huge effort. So props to Ben.
Shout out to
on
Ben.
that.
Also, new animations too,
We
right?
do have new animations. You see the fun dances that the Nationals do in the dugout or the Soto Shuffle, that kind of thing.
Harper Bow.
We captured a lot of cool new animations current stuff that they're doing in the MLB, and we put those into our presentation. So
huge shout out to Lauren on all that. Every year does an incredible job, and so you'll see a lot of that stuff: pre-game, post-game, home run scenes, dugout scenes, all that type of stuff. Really unique, special stuff that's going on. A ton of work went into that, and you'll keep an eye out for all that stuff. Pretty cool stuff.
Anything else? Did we cover everything in the presentation?
I think we flew through it.
Kirby hasn't given away.
Kirby hasn't leaked the legend. So this is a failure on our part to get
Gibson's
Kirby
still
to
in the
leak
game, though.
something.
I can confirm Bob Gibson's still in the game, guys. Still in the
Well,
game.
thank you to the presentation team. We will be back to talk about the Instagram filter. We'll be right back.
Some spend their whole lives chasing big dreams. Me? I lived mine. And nobody dreams bigger than me. I fought tooth and nail through thick and thin to the roar of 40,000 voices cheering in chaotic adoration. But I wanted more. From Rocket City to Rancho Cucamonga, they called me Conqueror. I built dynasties and watched them fall. I stood on the shoulders of giants. Until one day, I was the biggest there ever was. I've been to the show, and in it found greatness beyond your wildest dreams. What will you find?
Come on, kid. You heard the hot dog man.
Welcome to the show.
Drive me first.
Create, customize, and live out your big league dreams in MLB The Show 20. Want some?
Nah, I saw you.
PlayStation.
You heard the hot dog man. We're joined on the couch. First appearance.
Second
is the second appearance.
Snuck into the dev tournament last year.
Oh, that's right. Colin, what are we talking about? Instagram
Hey,
filter.
so we have a new Instagram filter. All the rage, all the random things that you see on the internet right now. So if we can pull up our next, so you can actually go to our Instagram right now and go get this. And it will
It's live right now.
It's live right now. Ramon got a 54.
54 comment.
Sorry,
The
Ramon.
sorry circle of
So
comment.
let's look at number 2. So we took some of your favorites in the office.
Steven!
Here. So we got Steven.
Where you at, Steven? We
Where
miss you.
did Steven get? So he 80. Not so bad. Not so bad. So we got Kyle. What do we think that Kyle got here?
Dev Turning champ.
Dev Turning champ. Tune in next week.
I'll take that.
84. Maybe that has something to say about next week. We'll see if he holds the belt.
Luis.
Let's see.
Luis get a diamond. Luis has to be a diamond, right?
Nope.
What he ain't? Luis
Sorry.
got. Hey, at least you ain't a 54, Luis. It could be worse.
Next up,
61
Lane
isn't
returning
bad.
to the team this week. We're super excited to have him back.
What? Lane with the 87.
Lane,
Okay.
He does play baseball, so so let's look at the live feed here. Let's bring it up on our phone so you can actually see us. We are actually live right now on our Instagram page. So if you click on this little smiley face thing, you'll actually see the filter, and then you can actually try it out.
Say hi to Doug.
Say hi to Doug. So if we click try, we'll actually load it up. And then we can actually, let's do you, Ramon.
No, I'm good.
Let's,
I'm good.
We'll just have you, if you hold it will start it up. So if you hold the record, it will start thinking of what it's going to be. Another 48 for Ramon.
A bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush, people.
So
the grass ain't always green.
go
on
to
the
our
side.
Instagram. Actually, what we would like you to do, go to the Instagram, go try it out. Make sure that you tag MLB The Show, as well as make sure that you use the hashtag TheShow20 so we can see it. We want to see every one of your favorite ratings. We want to see your reactions. All those things we want to see.
Because it can't be worse than mine.
It's really, we'll see who turns up.
Remember, it's live right now on
right
Instagram.
now, go to our
Want see it?
Instagram.
Tag us. We'll be right
Yes.
back to talk about legends with Luis. Oh, there he is. Craig Biggio
Biggio.
joins the legend roster.
Completing the Baby Blue Jays
Baby
Dad
Blue
Club.
Jays Dad Club.
Yeah, Craig Biggio, Hall of Famer. Really interesting career path, right? Started off his
As a
career
catcher,
as a
right?
catcher. Yeah, he was fine there, but the Astros wanted more production. You know,
And
catchers break
knees,
down.
yeah, break down.
Catchers break down. Moved into second, won a couple of Gold Gloves. Then he went to the outfield, and then he went back to second base to finish his career. So what does this mean for, let's say, a signature series card in DD? Really interesting. You know,
So signature series cards are coming back.
they're coming back.
Okay.
That's a
Check.
reveal right there. That's another one. And we're going to talk more about them and more about some of the other card series that are coming to DD.
New card series.
On
Check.
Saturday.
Reveal too.
On Saturday, yeah. So, yeah, really interesting. Craig Biggio would make for a really interesting SIG card. And just you know, one of the best hitters. So there's one person in history that's got 3,000 hits, 600 doubles, 250 bombs, 400 steals, and that's Craig Biggio. That's one of one. So really interesting, versatile player. We love him being in MLB The Show as the new legend.
Oh, and we're not done. We still
We're not
have
done.
so much to talk about,
Yeah.
which we'll talk about Saturday. Got a few more streams left.
Yes.
We're coming to the close of this stream. We talked about March to October. We talked about the new presentation suite. We also showed you 3 more of the special edition diamonds in the Diamond
The big
Variety
3?
Choice Pack, the big 3.
Making
Remember,
the choices hard.
MVP edition, 15th anniversary edition, or the digital deluxe edition. You will get to choose one of those unless you get the DD version, digital deluxe version, and you get 2 of those packs.
those
And we
packs.
still have one more player in that pack to reveal, which I'm assuming we'll reveal Saturday.
Maybe.
But we'll also reveal a lot more stuff. Remember, we're streaming again in a few days on Saturday, live from the Players Lounge in Scottsdale. Kyle Blake, Luis Martinez, and my man Stephen Haas. We miss you, Stephen. Stephen's working real hard. We'll all be back on the couch on Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific time to talk about Showdown, programs, new card series,
Team Affinity.
more legends. We're going to reveal Team Affinity. I'm really excited for you guys to see it. It is awesome. Lots more to talk about.
Yeah.
That's it from us.
Yeah.
We'll see you in a few days.